welcome back to our Ben Smith Coaches Show this week with a special coach sitting in for him. Ben is out off campus right now, but being joined by Coach Justin Anglin, one of the longtime Bear assistant coaches. Coach, welcome to the show, and tell us who your special guest you brought along today.
Thank you for having me here, Gary. I'm sorry Ben can't be here today. He got called off campus, but thanks for allowing me to sit in for him. This is Brianna Pontus. She's our junior captain of our girls wrestling team. Our second year we've had this girls wrestling team here at Bradley Central.
Well, welcome to our show, Brianna. Glad to have you here today.
Nice.
We'll get back to you in a moment. I want to start with Coach Anglin. Since our last presentation, which is on the BCHS Bear Network, by the way, on Facebook, you wrestled, had senior night last Friday. Honored six, was it 6 seniors or 7 or how many?
Yeah, so Austin Lynn, Chase Stansberry, Cody McDaniel, and then we had the newer ones up top with Brett Waters, Bennett Burris, and Caden Morris, so 6.
Okay, 6 of those, and it was a nice night. Had a big win there with Saudi Daisy, which actually was for the region championship, I guess, there.
District
championship.
District championship, yeah.
And then Saturday you wrestled in the region. Was it the region this past Saturday?
Yeah, it was region duels.
And then you move
this
on from
last
there
Saturday. Tomorrow night, or tonight, excuse me. My gosh, that's why I'm wearing a tie. Tonight we are traveling to Maryville High School, up in Blount County, to wrestle them. This year with the restrictions because of COVID, they're only allowing 8 teams at the state duels instead of 16. So the Region 3 winner wrestles the Region 4 runner-up, and we were the Region 4 runner-up this year. So we're traveling to their place, and the winner of that will advance to the state duels next weekend, or 2 weekends.
Have you wrestled Maryville this year? Or
we have not wrestled Maryville. We've had some common opponents, but we do not have a head-up with Maryville yet.
Okay. And I hate it for the program. We only had one home match this year, and that was the senior night this past Friday night. But we talked about what you're going to be doing next. Have they determined yet where the state tournaments will be held? UTC will host the duels or traditional?
The convention center, not UTC, but the convention center is going to hold the traditionals on like the 19th, 20th, 21st or the 18th, 19th, 20th, excuse me, of February. The duels are all going to be stationed around high schools up in the Franklin County area. The place where we've been doing them in the past, the Williamson County Agricultural Expo Center, is their COVID headquarters testing center up there.
Okay.
So obviously that's off limits. So they're having to divide them up in separate locations. They have yet to tell us exactly what high school we're going to be at yet. But, so I can't tell you that. It's not a secret. I just don't know yet.
It's going to be a different look than last year then for sure, and for several years gone by.
Less schools and smaller venue, of course.
Yeah. So it's going to be the best of the best. You know.
Absolutely.
There won't be any weaklings there, probably.
No, sir.
Brianna, let's talk to you again here for a few minutes, young lady. You're a junior.
Yes.
And you're on the wrestling team. What got you interested in the wrestling? Did Coach come at you in the hallway and say, you look like you could whip somebody you know? Or?
No. I had friends that were on the wrestling team, and I actually really didn't like wrestling that much. I didn't think it was womanly.
Do you like it now, though? I mean, Coach
yes,
is listening.
I love it.
Do you?
I love it now. But
what is it about it that you like? The discipline, the team camaraderie, or?
I would say that I like everything about it, I guess. Most of it. It's tiring, but it's something to do.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Now, I don't normally ask females this, but how much do you weigh?
I weigh 112.
So the weight class you're in is 112.
Yeah.
Coach, girls' weight class is different than boys' weight classes?
They are.
Where do they start at?
103.
103 and go through, max out.
103, 112, 119. I think there's 125 this year. Then to be honest with you, I'm still learning. This is our second year, and we only had 2 wrestlers last year. We've got 5 this year, so I'm still trying to learn the weight classes myself.
Well, last talking to Brianna, I think she said she'd won 6 or 7 matches this year.
Yes, we're fighting hard to get mat time. I mean, anybody that knows anything about wrestling, anybody out there that's watching wrestling, knows that COVID is obviously one of those sports. Wrestling's been affected greatly. So many tournaments have been shut down, so we're having to travel as many places we can to get matches for the girls. You know, it's still growing at a tremendous rate in Tennessee, but it's primarily located in the Nashville to Clarksville region and the Knoxville to Bristol region. So it's growing down here in the South, and we're trying to lead that charge, you know, with people like Bree.
Well, Southeast Tennessee is a hotbed for boys wrestling.
Absolutely.
obviously, so-
I mean, and we want to dominate, just being honest. I mean, we 26 state championships for Bradley. We've been a dominant program for decades, and we want to be dominant in the girls program. Why should it be any different?
Yeah, yeah. Is there yet established a middle school or a kids club for girls, kind of thing?
They
or-
wrestle with the boys.
Okay.
As far as the rules of wrestling goes, Ocoee had 3 girls this year. Lake Forest, Coach Insminger down at Lake Forest, they had 2 girls there. They actually will wrestle the boys in middle school. There's no rules against it or anything like that. And at club level, you just join the club.
Okay.
I know it sounds weird to say this, but until they really hit puberty, the boys and the girls at that age, at the 5 to 10-year-old age, they wrestle around really well with each other. There's not a big size difference. There's not a physical difference. And so we had a couple girls this year with Coach Logston. I think he had 1 or 2 that were out there. I don't know if they stuck it out the entire time because COVID hit them just like it hit everybody else. Hard to say.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's growing. And like I said, from a state standpoint, it is growing everywhere.
Well, I've heard people, opponents and other coaches say that's the Bradley leg move, that Bradley does is different maybe than what other schools. I don't know what that means, and it's okay. But do you teach girls different techniques than you teach
No,
guys?
gosh,
Or is
no.
it the same type of
No.
technique, same holds?
No, the same everything. They have the same expectations.
Yeah.
Just because they're ladies doesn't mean that they are treated any differently. They have to do the same practice. They have the same expectations. They have the same preseason expectations. I just took an email from a girl yesterday. I'm not going to give names or anything like that. It's nobody's business. I took an email yesterday, and she was like, "When are tryouts?" There are no tryouts. She's like, "Well, how do I make the team?" I said, "You come out." I said, if you make it through preseason, congratulations, you're on the team. And they've done it. Every one of the girls that came out this year made it through preseason.
Well, I may outweigh you by about 70 or 80 pounds, but I bet you if me and you got into a row here, we go outside in the parking lot and you have me pinned about 16 seconds and win cradle hold or something
Watch
like that.
those Bradley legs, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Especially with Bree, she's gonna put them in.
Yeah.
But wrestling is a lot like cross country and track. It's you on an island. It's not like you're a basketball player with a team playing as a team unit or football where you can sort of hide someone. But when that spotlight's on, you're out there, it's all about you and your opponent. And it's about, a lot of it's mental, Can I do this? Because coach can't call timeout, and say, hey, this girl's in trouble. Let's call time and get her out of this mess she's in. Like we can in football and basketball, It's a little different. So is the mental aspect of that game, is that hard for you, Brianna? That discipline, to me, when you've won a match, hey, I did this. It's me, It's nobody else but me. But you've got to do all the behind the scenes, the weightlifting, training, all that to get there, don't you?
Yeah, I would say that it's the mental aspect is probably the biggest part for me personally. I have natural talent. I have to put in some extra work, obviously, because just having that is not good enough, and just being one of the first girl wrestlers isn't good enough. But to be in the right headspace to wrestle, you're not going to get anywhere if you're not okay up there.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, Coach, it is, like we said, it's you one-on-one. No place to hide.
It is. There are things we can do to help in situations.
Yeah, I know you're always hollering out something out there. Hey, remember, do this,
Well, like I said, I've been fortunate to be part of this program. The lineage of the coaches, I've learned a lot. And I was a coach in Alabama before I got here. I've been a head coach before, and I can tell you right now, I'm a way better coach than I was 10 years ago. Just the people I've been around.
Yeah.
I've been around Ben for 10 years, Coach Smith,
Success
being around
breeds
Coach
success.
Logston, Coach Jackson. You couldn't ask for 3 better mentors for me as far as me growing as a coach. So, we've all got little things we can do to try to help or control the pace of a match with the girls. But you're right, when they're out there, and for a lot of people, that's the worst part. They've got to be mentally tough.
Right.
They've got to be mentally tough.
Well, you're at the 112 weight class now, and you're a junior. Do you think you would gain weight and move up to a higher class, or?
I don't. I think that since I'm a junior, most of the time when you're an upperclassman, from what I've seen, it's like those last 2 years, you've probably gone up 1 weight class after your sophomore year, but you'll probably stay at that weight class after.
Well, girls typically mature physically, sooner than boys anyway. Mentally, boys never mature. But, girls are a little smarter. Most girls are anyway. But Now, postseason for Brianna, will she be involved in postseason?
Yes, that's this weekend.
Okay. At the same place at Maryville or a different place?
No, it'll be a different place. Maryville's tonight for the boys,
that's right, yeah.
for the duels. The girls, we don't have a full team yet, so we didn't get to take a girls dual team to compete. But girls individual region is this weekend, and the state is just divided up into east and west right now. And so we're in the east section, so the girls region is this weekend at Heritage High School, also up in Blount County.
Okay.
They've got a great girls program. Robert does a fantastic job with that program up there. This is their second year hosting that event. It's kind of a nice in between from going from Bristol all the way down. And then the top 4 from that region will then qualify for the state tournament on the same weekend that we wrestle.
Okay. Well, when you were doing the senior night broadcast, in the streaming with Mr. Stroyer, I was eavesdropping, standing by and listening to all that. And you, toward the end, we were talking about colleges that are strong. Campbellsville is a place that are really strong.
Oh my gosh, yes. Campbellsville, the current defending women's champion in the country right now is Life, out of Marietta, Georgia. Life University down there. Big program down there. Ashley Sward is the head coach down there. If you're looking, give me a call, Ashley. Got some girls you might be interested in. She does a fantastic job, obviously, with national champions. Prior to that, Campbellsville up in Kentucky. University of Cumberland has a girls program. King University in Bristol was national champions for years, combined out with Oklahoma City, going back and forth. It literally is growing leaps and bounds. Lincoln Memorial, Bickner is the new coach. He's the director of wrestling operations at Lincoln Memorial, starting a brand new program for the 2021-2022 school year, both men's and women's programs. And so they're looking, it's growing everywhere.
Well, it would seem to me, Brianna being in high school, and there's not a lot of high school girls wrestlers programs in the area. Great opportunity for her, college to look at her.
Yes, oh, absolutely. And I would be remiss if I didn't say this. The college ladies don't wrestle scholastic style like she does now. They do freestyle, which is the Olympic style. So I would like it, and now that she's into it more. Last year was one of those dangle the carrots and hey, come out here and wrestle. Now that she likes it and she's more involved, you see her smile and she's like, because she knows what I'm getting ready to say. I'd like for her to do some freestyle this year because that's what's going to transition to college better for her. Okay. And it's a different set, similar but yet a different set of rules and things like that.
Oh, okay. Was that something you'd like to pursue there, Brianna?
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure on if I want to wrestle in college, but I think it would definitely be, if I went to a college that offered a good program, that it would definitely be something that would be good for me.
What would you like to work on to improve your wrestling skills? Is it your strength? Is it your techniques, your moves?
I would say I'm pretty good. I mean, you always need to work on strength because I have noodle arms, but
noodle arms.
Yeah, but for me, it's more mentally for getting to state and stuff like that.
Well, as we said, mental is a big part of being successful in any sport where it's individually carried on and all that. But Coach, the girls program, you've got others now. Are they all underclassmen? You have seniors wrestling?
No seniors this year. They're all underclassmen. So, fingers crossed. We all transition back to this year. Then we'll have everybody back. Like I said, I've already got some communication with some middle school girls that will be, that have already said they're going to be enrolling. So, can't do anything with them at the time because they're in middle school. But then hopefully they'll be here next year. They've already said they're planning on coming here. So that means we go from 5 to say 8. And then, the Lake Forest girls roll up here. And then, then maybe we're 8 to 9. And if we can get a little bit more, involvement, probably being honest, and my bad. I guess we didn't really advertise it maybe as much in the school building this year as we could have. Maybe a little bit more word of mouth than putting out a big, production. And maybe we should do that and see if we can get a little bit more. Because, nobody, it's hard being the first. Like, Bree and Abby Beasley last year were the only 2 girls we had. Hard to be the only 2 out here because you got to fight that, that stereotype, like, oh my God, girls wrestling, blah, blah, blah. Well, then it makes it easier for other girls to commit when they see girls that are already out there.
Right.
And so, when, they're nice, they're helpful. the ones we have out there right now. Now they're coming back, so I'm hoping that that's going to snowball. Some people that are already here, freshmen, sophomores are already here with their classmates that are like, oh, well, how did you like it? Oh, can I try it? Absolutely, you can. You can come out anytime you want to. You can come out and talk to us at any point you want to. Stop by my classroom in D1. Come talk to me about girls wrestling. Stop by the gym and talk to Coach Smith. Stop by Coach Blackman's room. Talk to him about girls wrestling. All three of us will be happy to sit you down and tell you everything that goes with it and what it looks like for a year. I mean, we want this. Like I said, our intention is to make this program as dominant as the boys program has been for decades.
Well, and with any program like that, once you start having some success breeds success.
It does.
And like the boys program, it's sort of self-perpetuating now, the way it's handled here. It has been for many, many years. When Turner really brought to the level, got up there, and then Steve and Chad and everybody and Ben and all these guys. And of course, he's got some great assists there and all. But what's the toughest thing? What's the toughest thing? But what's the most fun thing about wrestling?
I would say the hardest thing about wrestling is having to make sure that I have to meet the standards that are probably higher, because being a girl, I mean, the expected is that I'm not going to do as well, or I'm not going to do as good.
You have to overachieve, basically.
And then the most fun thing is being able to go out there and
the match itself, right?
Yeah. And kick butt, I guess.
There you go. Well, Coach, one thing I see, and I saw this Friday, I can walk down the hall and I can tell if it's wrestling day because your young men have on dress shirts and ties. I mean, that's just the standard at Bradley. Mm-hmm. Do the girls do anything in particular to dress up for match day?
We don't treat the girls any differently than we treat the boys.
Oh, well, that's great to hear that.
They have
just as hard on them as you are the guys, right?
There's a standard. You know what I mean? There's a standard. Obviously, and the standard is that we are going to dress appropriately on match day.
Got your time?
Yeah, I got my. If I'm going to ask the boys to do it, I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. It's like being in the house. I've got 3 daughters. You know what I mean? And there's expectations for a daughter. Even if I had a boy, I don't. Just because I don't have a boy doesn't mean that I don't expect them to do yard work. You know what I mean? Yeah. You set that out there. It's like, you're going to do yard work with me. So why would I be any differently here? If I'm not going to treat them any different than I do my own kids.
Fair treatment is what you're looking
absolutely.
For, what everybody expects and wants. But, well, we'd like to thank both of you guys and girl, Brianna Pontes for being with us today. Junior wrestler in the 1 pound weight class here at Bradley Central for the wrestling team, for the girls side of it. Coach Justin Engel, a long time, 10 years or so?
10 years, yep.
10 years.
Believe it or not.
Boy, time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure
Sitting
does.
in for Coach Ben, who got called away on a little issue today, so he'll be back with us next week. Maybe Justin will be back time to time, and we'll have some other wrestlers with us too. But Brandon, go out there and kick some butt, as you say, and win you some more matches, keep it rolling. And you're going to be a senior next year, so they're going to be looking to you. The coaches are, and other younger girls looking to you. How does Brianna react when things get tougher? What do I need to do? And you're going to be the one that's going to have to lead the way. And you're captain right now, they say, of the junior team, or the girls team. So keep that up. Keep up the good work and represent Bradley well. I know you will. I'd like to remind folks that you're going to Maryville High School tonight.
Maryville High School tonight.
And to remind folks to cheer on the Bears. Will that be streamed anywhere that you know of?
I think I spoiled some people this weekend by doing a Facebook Live.
You may be streaming it yourself.
Now they've asked me if I'm going to stream tonight, and unfortunately I cannot make the trip.
Oh, okay. Well,
like I said, I got my own family things I've got to handle at times.
First.
So family first. So I will have my daughters tonight. So I've got to handle my own children. So I won't be there to stream it. But if anybody wants that's in there, I'm sure one of the other coaches would be happy to give you the Facebook login, and you can do it yourself. So that probably won't be streamed unless Maryville's doing it, and they haven't told us of any streaming services, Scott. But then this weekend, depending on where I'm at, I may break out the camera and stream, but it won't be varsity. I'll either be with the ladies or I'll be with the JV. And then any event that I'm at that's not home, that's being streamed by Gwen and the program here, I'll try to stream.
Very good. Okay. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us. Brianna, thanks for being here today. Until next time, for Coach Ben Smith, we'll just say so long for now. God bless, and go Bears and Bearettes.
Absolutely.